Dinosaurs ruled the Earth for over 165 million years. However, there were many animals that lived before, during, and after that were just as formidable. We've picked 72 that dominate the others. In this show, we will talk about these dangerous animals, including when they lived, what they ate, their weaponry, and how humans would fare if these creatures were still alive. From the largest venomous animal of all time, to birds that could take out animals 30 times their weight, to a pterosaur that could kill a T-Rex, this is 72 Dangerous Animals, Prehistory. Orna megalonics had a wingspan of up to 7 feet and weighed up to 30 pounds. It lived 126,000 to 11,700 years ago in Cuba.
Originally thought to be a forest rocket due to its massive bones, Orna megalonics was actually the largest owl of all time. Orna megalonics stood over 3.5 feet tall and had very long legs for its size. It was a very bulky owl and weighed up to 30 pounds. The burrowing owl resembles Orna megalonics in its proportions more than any other living owl. However, they aren't closely related. Orna megalonics had massive feet and preferred to run down prey. They were very fast runners. They could fly for short distances too, in a similar fashion to modern wild turkeys. Just like forest rockets, Orna megalonics was a powerful killer. Prey items included huchias, rodents the size of modern capybaras, and giant ground sloths. This bird used its massive talons to take out these huge prey items. It could kick its prey with lots of force and cripple it by snapping the neck or spine or caving in its skull. Orna megalonics was easily strong enough to overpower a human and kill them. Orna megalonics could use its powerful legs to spring into the air, then use its wings for an added boost to reach branches of trees that were relatively high up. Then it could drop down on an unsuspecting prey item and kill it in an ambush. It could also rest in trees, away from danger.
Orna megalonics takes first place for now. Can it hold it against the American cheetah? The American cheetah grew up to 9 feet long and weighed up to 200 pounds. It lived 2.5 million years ago to 16,000 years ago in the United States.
Megalonics, the American cheetah, was actually more closely related to mountain lions than to the African cheetahs. The American cheetah retained retractable claws, preventing it from running at high speeds. It is a misconception that the American cheetah was a fast runner. Additionally, there is fossil evidence that the American cheetah fought each other regularly, which is extremely rare and almost unheard of with modern cheetahs. This is more evidence for a lack of convergence between the two of them. Megalonics preyed on mountain goats and horses, as well as pronghorn. It was originally thought that pronghorn developed the ability to run fast to escape from the American cheetah. However, now we know that Megalonics was relatively slow, which means that the pronghorn's speed is still a mystery, as there are no modern predators in the same habitat that are anywhere near as fast as pronghorns. The type species, Megalonics inexpectatus, resembled a cheetah in body plan and lived in the open plains, and competed with jaguars and smilodon for resources. Megalonics trumani resembled a mountain lion and lived in mountainous areas, such as the Grand Canyon.
Megalonics is no match for our killer owl. It takes second place. Up next, a crocodilian that walked on only 2 legs. Postasukas grew up to 23 feet long or possibly even larger and weighed up to 1,500 pounds. It lived 237 to 201.3 million years ago in North America. Postasukas was a large crocodilomorph of the Triassic period. Possibly reaching lengths of over 23 feet, this super predator preyed on dinosaurs and decenodonts. Its skull was massive and full of teeth resembling daggers. There was lots of muscle attachment in the skull, allowing for a powerful bite. It was heterodont, meaning its teeth were different sizes and shapes. It had a long neck and long tail, and had osteoderms on its back for protection. Postasukas had an extremely good sense of smell, as well as powerful eyes that allowed it to see for long distances, much like an eagle. It also had the Jacobson's organ in its head, allowing it to better detect its prey. Postasukas had 5 fingers on each hand. The first finger had a hooked sickle claw like Dromaeosaur's. Its forelimbs were muscular and powerful, and could have been used to hold prey. The hind limbs also had a hooked sickle claw on the 5th toe. Postasukas was bipedal as an adult and walked much like theropod dinosaurs. The young had proportionately longer arms than adults and would have been quadrupedal until they were old enough that their arms had reached a size where they could no longer efficiently move around on all fours. Adult Postasukas were still capable of walking on all fours, however they weren't very fast in this mode and they had to hobble around. Postasukas took out prey that weighed up to a ton and was more than capable of ripping a human apart and devouring them. Postasukas was more dangerous than the American cheetah, but the super owl still holds on to top spot. Postasukas takes second place, pushing the American cheetah to number 3. Up next, one of the largest creodonts. Sarcasodon grew up to 10 feet long and weighed up to 1,800 pounds. It lived 56 to 33 million years ago in China and Mongolia.
Sarcasodon was a large creodont from the Eocene that resembled a bear. Sarcasodon's teeth resembled a hyena's and were capable of crushing bone, allowing for a diet of both meat and bones. It was a slow runner, so instead of chasing down prey, it was an ambush hunter. Sarcasodon fed on ancient horses, cattle, and rhinoceroses. Sarcasodon was 6 feet tall at the shoulder, and while standing on its hind legs was capable of reaching an object 19 feet off the ground. This hypercarnivore was faster than a human, and its massive size allowed for a huge advantage. Once it caught up to you, it would maul you and tear you apart, then eat its easily earned kill. Over time, the anthocyanids and carnivora overtook the creodonts as the apex predators of their time, leading to the extinction of the creodonts.
Sarcasodon wipes the board and takes top spot, pushing Orna megalonics to 2nd, Postasukas to 3rd, and the American cheetah to 4th. Coming up, a powerful pliosaur. Chronosaurus reached lengths of up to 36 feet long and weighed up to 26,600 pounds. It lived 120 to 100 million years ago in Australia. The sea occupied by Chronosaurus had near freezing temperatures and seasonal ice. With a skull over 9 feet long, this massive pliosaur was a dangerous beast. It had 4 large flippers that it used to propel itself through the water. The rear flippers were longer than the front ones. These large flippers, along with a strong pelvic girdle and muscles, allowed Chronosaurus to be a fast and powerful swimmer. Chronosaurus could reach speeds of 40 miles per hour and maintain them for long distances, meaning it was faster and more dangerous than most mosasaurs. Chronosaurus could bite down with a force of over 145,000 newtons, putting it nearly the level of Megalodon. The largest of Chronosaurus' teeth were up to 12 inches long, not counting the root. Chronosaurus fed on turtles, plesiosaurs, and possibly large cephalopods. Chronosaurus could have targeted plesiosaurs by biting their neck in half to kill them. When Chronosaurus bit down on larger prey, it would have twisted its body around to tear chunks out of its target. Chronosaurus had a skull shaped like an acute triangle, so if it bit down on a human, their legs or arms would be sticking out of its mouth, making an attack more brutal and painful. Chronosaurus could also slam into you from the side and bite you in half. Chronosaurus has just what it needs to overpower Sarcasodon and take top spot. Sarcasodon moves to number 2, Orna megalonics to number 3, Postasukas to number 4, and the American cheetah to 5. Up next, a massive mosasaur. Tylosaurus grew from 46 to 52 feet long and weighed 14,800 pounds. It lived 90 to 66 million years ago in North America in the western interior seaway. Tylosaurus had a long conical snout with no teeth towards the end of the snout. This would have allowed Tylosaurus to ram its prey with its large head, causing lots of internal bleeding and organ damage. The Tylosaurus nicknamed Bunker was estimated to have been up to 52 feet long, making it the 2nd largest mosasaur after Mosasaurus. Fossilized skin from Tylosaurus has been found, revealing that it had diamond-shaped scales and rose like a rattlesnake's. The scales had a keel, meaning they resembled shark denticles and reduced drag while swimming. The scales also retain traces of a pigment that would have made Tylosaurus black in color while alive. It is likely that Tylosaurus also had counter shading, like modern sharks, whales, etc. Genes that code for high melanin also have a side effect of increased aggressiveness in the animal. Additionally, dark coloration would keep Tylosaurus warm in cold environments, have fast growth rates so it reaches adulthood faster, have increased camouflage, and increased tolerance to ultraviolet radiation. Tylosaurus was warm-blooded, like other mosasaurs. This allowed for an increase in energy while chasing prey. Tylosaurus was an ambush predator. Even though it was large, it was lightweight for its size, allowing it to swim faster and accelerate rapidly to attack. Tylosaurus was an apex predator and a generalist hunter. It ate other mosasaurs, plesiosaurs, turtles, birds, bony fish, sharks, ammonites, and giant squid. Fossil evidence shows that Tylosaurus frequently attacked each other. One individual was attacked by a larger Tylosaurus, which led to a quick death as the neck was snapped. Tylosaurus swam at around 30 miles per hour at its cruising speed. Its bite force was up to 88,000 newtons. Tylosaurus would make short work of a human. Like Chronosaurus, it would bite you in half, resulting in increased pain. However, Chronosaurus had a much stronger bite force and was much faster, resulting in it being more dangerous. Plus, if Tylosaurus won this episode, it would technically be on the roster twice, according to some paleontologists. Tylosaurus takes second place, with Sarcasodon moving to third, Orna megalonics to fourth, Postasukas to fifth, and megalonics to sixth. Chronosaurus wins and moves on to our finalists. Next episode on 72 Dangerous Animals Prehistory, a massive pterosaur, a pterosaur-eating shark, and an extremely dangerous mammal that was the largest mustelid of all time.
Amphicelius was the largest land animal of all time. Upper estimates say it was an astonishing 215 feet long and 122 tons in weight. For comparison, a blue whale is 98 and 200. It would have been immune to predation as an adult.
In each episode, we will rank the creatures from 1 to 6 on a scale of how potentially dangerous these creatures would be to humans, and the winner of each episode will showdown with the other 11 finalists in the season finale to decide on which prehistoric creature was the ultimate human killing machine.